Hello, good evening and welcome to episode 15 of the British Hive Mind. Our special Friday episodes. I think we're going to start carrying this on every Friday, which is going to be a show based around how to wake other people up. How to wake up I don't like calling them the normal people or the sleepy people or the sheep or any sort of derogatory label like that. I don't think it's right to be calling them things like that. But it's, how to wake up the everyday normal people that are, just trying to just really, truly just want to go about the day and pretty much ignore the travesties and the tyranny that we live under. And this episode's going to be basically around, good topics to talk about, so that it's not too touchy, catching up on nerve issues, and it's not really sort of dodgy issues or issues that are going to freak people out or scare them, because, well, there's rabbit holes out there that, well, even I don't want to really look into, and if I don't want to look into them, your normal everyday people aren't gonna want to uncover those facts. But so here we go. This is episode 15, and we're going to start talking about topics we can talk about, topics that aren't so taboo. We are fighting for free speech. We are fighting to be able to say what we want when we want, as long as we can back it up with facts, proof, and evidence. We should be encouraged to talk, encouraged to debate these facts, to debate these issues, because that's what our society is built upon. Debating issues, finding out which one is the strongest, most popular, best choice, or best decision, or best sort of ideology, and going forth with that. Not being shouted down, not being browbeaten, not being silenced in every way that they possibly can through every means they've got to hand, to try to dictate the narrative and dictate what we can and cannot speak about and dictate what we're supposed to think. That's not how our society works. That's not how our society's grown. That is unacceptable. So it is a bit of a battle we've got on our hands. We have to get out there. We have to get talking to people, and we have to start opening their eyes to issues that they might not necessarily want to talk about. They might not necessarily want to get involved in. But it's affecting their everyday life from the moment they wake up to the moment they go to sleep. Everything they buy, everything they see on TV, things that they want to talk about to their friends in the pub and think, best not talk about that. I could be getting up. Yeah, I could be offending someone. Or before you tell a joke, having to look over your shoulders before you try and tell a joke to someone, because it might be seen as offensive. Come on, a joke's a joke. It's there to be laughed at. And British comedy and British humour has always had this dark side, this slap in the face sort of dry humour. Yeah. We can take a point that's very, very serious, put a bit of a spin on it, put a bit of a twist on it, and have a little bit of a laugh at it. Because if you can't laugh at it, by crikey, what else can you do? Cry? Not into doing that. Yeah. So, where to begin? Because I, for one, I see myself as a bit of a truth teller, as a bit of a rabble rouser, a bit of someone who wants to get out there and start, getting people to be aware of what's been going on behind the closed doors, what's going on in secret, that is affecting our day-to-day life, day in and day out. So, and I believe there's other people out there. There are other people out there that, like me, want to start telling people the truth, start waking people up, and start saying, actually, what that person's, what the government's telling you, what the establishment's telling you, what the TV's telling you, is wrong. It's false, and it's being done for a reason, and it's being told to you in that way to try to make you think that way, or vote that way, or you can't say that, or you can't do that. It's not right. Well, I don't accept that, and I hope people that are watching, I hope for people that watch later on, agree with me upon this. So, yeah, where to begin?
One of the big, not to start with, it's just a little touch on the subject about how dry humour us British have.
Yeah.
Out within a certain sphere, in a certain place, a running joke is, I identify as.
I identify as a lamppost.
Not even stuff like.
Well, put a torch on my head, and I identify as a lamppost. yeah. But you see, that's the sort of comedy we all British are used to and go for, you know. And some of the best truth tellers are the comedians.
So, to put it one way, I'm a white British male.
Oh, you're a minority there.
Well, I said, I was like, well, I identify as a black Afro-Caribbean Chinese Arabian or something like that. It was ridiculous, but it puts a message out there.
Well, it's like your thoughts and feelings outweigh facts and proof and evidence. Man, I feel like a woman. So you got to treat me as a woman, and if you don't call me Mrs. or Madame, I'm going to take you to court, or I'm going to get the police after you. We laugh at it, but we see news stories about, you know, college lecturers being sacked or being suspended for not using the right pronouns. Not only in America, because it's going on rifely over there, but I think there was even a report from Oxford University of a lecturer being suspended over not calling the right pronoun.
Look at Justin Trudeau. We don't say mankind, we say people kind.
People kind.
Bloody idiot. Mankind is the word of man and woman.
Yeah.
Woman.
XX and XY. Yes, there can be XXX and XXY, but they're very, very brief, very, very small minority of percentage. But, you know, the facts are the facts. A lot of people don't seem to accept the facts anymore.
True science, like real science, apart from like this brought narrative people, real science says there are males and females, and when I say a very small amount, it's less than 1% of the population of this world are hermaphrodites.
Mm-hmm.
Less than 1%. I don't even think they've come over. It's impossible to come to a case where there is no gender. Because it's definitive by science.
Yep, it is. So, yeah. But like we might just go into a bit later with the Frankfurt School of Thought. We've touched upon this one before. but it's part of their mandate. It's part of their agenda to push. Is this non-gender agenda? So, back onto topic. Ways to start addressing the issues. Ways to start talking to ways to start talking to people, and subjects to start talking to people about. Because I know for a fact there's a lot of people out there that know there's something wrong, that know that there's something not quite right, that know that things are not heading up, things are not getting better, things are only getting worse. And
good place to start is Tim Fortescue.
Yeah, if you'd like to elaborate upon that, Mr. Tim Fortescue. Mm-hmm. We've heard that on
the. So there was a Tim Fortescue. We hear it regularly on Daily Brexit. But Tim Fortescue had an interview with BBC, and he admitted that in the Whip's office of Ted Heath government, they were covering up scandals involving little boys.
Yeah.
And debt. And they would do that for brownie points.
You scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. If you don't do as we say, we're going to release this to the papers. And you'll be, and you'll have a character assassination done upon you in the newspapers, because that's what they like to do. All of the truth tellers, all of the people that we're gonna start talking about, people that want to get the truth out there and inform people with facts, some opinions, and a lot of the people that I'm going to mention do need to be taken with a pinch of salt. They're not. How can I put this? It's not 100% the truth. It's not. It is opinionated, and they do have some form of bias and some form of political point with what they say and the way they say it and the evidence that they produce. But now I've lost my point now. Like the character assassinate people. Like they're going to do with what they've done with Tommy Robinson. The character assassinated him. They've just used the narrative and used the media to portray him as something that he's really not. And now he's pretty much always on the back foot, trying to argue against people, saying, "No, I'm not a racist." Yeah. So, that's actually probably there available on YouTube. That Tim Fortescue interview. I can't believe. Well, if it's on YouTube, I can't believe it's not been taken down yet, because that's highly incriminating. But it's highly incriminating of politicians, 20, 35 years ago. They might still be frigging lords in the House of Lords, and they might still have political pushing power. But
Kenneth Clark, who was in the Whip's office at that time, is actually the father of the house.
Says it all. Says it all, doesn't it?
So do you think it's stopped? Or do you think it's got worse?
I think it's got a hell of a lot worse. I think yeah. I think they've got not only are they bribing the politicians with money, they're blackmailing them, overtaking the bribe in the first place. But I think that was probably going on back then as well. It's just been such a clouded subject, a secret subject, a subject that the newspapers and the media will not touch with.
Didn't have the internet as much as we did now.
No.
And the freedom we do, and the ability to be able to communicate to one another about these things.
Well, a lot of the subjects and a lot of things we touch on this show, if we spoke about them, because they were happening 10, 15, 20 years ago, but if we spoke about them then, we'd have been, called tinfoil hat wearers.
Must be.
Yeah, we would have been laughed at. We wouldn't have had any of the source information or any of the videos or any of the content or any of the documentation to prove our point, to show people that no, we're telling the truth. This is actually happening. These are what.
Or it costs a lot to what do you call it? Get it onto some sort of format that you can watch it, like onto VCR or into a book or something like that.
Yeah.
Costs a lot. That's why a lot of people write books.
Yeah, there is a lot.
It's the easiest way to communicate.
And that's it. That was the old medium. The book. The book was the old medium, because the newspapers, they've been corrupted for a long time. The TV has been corrupted ever since its birth. The radio has been corrupted for a long time. It's been owned by the elites. Yeah. When was a new newspaper ever brought out that wasn't owned by one of these conglomerate media corporations? And how
we had the Express, and now that's been brought out.
Yeah. And well, I don't read it, but I can tell from what other people have commented and what other people have said, because they've read it, that it has changed. It has sort of changed its position and its standing to fit with the left-wing narratives that are being perpetually thrown in our face and browbeaten with. Whew. So, media corruption. Could that be a topic to talk to people about? Could that be a sort of door to open for people to say, well, the newspapers that you've been reading have been reporting from one side of the argument. They're very opinionated, very biased.
Best way to explain to them is that they'll piss on your leg and tell you it's raining.
Well, yeah, they all do. Yeah.
That's what I mean, yeah. It's the easiest way to explain who they are and what they do.
Yeah, and now with
and then you just prove it to them.
Well, what have they reported on the Russia incidents? Because none of them have really been reporting the truth, have they?
They haven't been reporting anything.
You see, that's
not anything worth reading anyway.
Yeah, that's where I fall down with the papers, because I don't read them. I never have done, and probably never will, unless we actually change them to report the actual proper news. Some of them,
citizen media.
Some of the newspapers, to be honest with you, can lead you in the right direction. If you get what I'm saying, they can put out a headline or put out a story, and you'll think, that needs a bit of looking into, or ooh, that's tweaked my interest. That means something to me, that story. But don't go and read the newspaper, or buy the newspaper, or read the report on the newspaper's website, or do it. But do it critically. And then look at a different source, cross-reference, find someone else that's got a different story, or the best thing to do is find a local mouth to say the local things that knows the ins and outs, or speak to someone who's got more expertise in the field. Because a lot of these reporters have no expertise in the field. They're just, they get given a script and told what to say, or they get given a narrative and told what to write. Here's a bit of a story. This is the spin we want upon it. Go on, get to work. Write a little paragraph of 3 or 4 on it, or write a front page article on it.
It's called the 4 a.m. drop.
Yeah. Well,
every news media gets it at 4 o'clock. This is what we're talking about. This is what's going to happen.
From Associated Press or Reuters, both companies owned by the elites. And these companies have massive censorship departments and narrative departments where they'll dedicate people to cutting out stories or hiding stories that don't support the narrative, or try to spin the story in the right direction for it to suit the narrative that they want to push out and they want to feed to people. Because these aren't news, these are more views upon the news. So it's it's a very difficult bridge to cross to tell people that a lot of what's being reported is either lies, or it's been reported in a certain biased way, or it's being reported to support a narrative. It's being reported on purpose to make you feel a certain way, to make you think a certain way. So there's some news sources out there. Well, which I think you said this might have been on the last show. When was the last piece of good news you ever heard that wasn't based around some chuffing celebrity or some media frigging starlet that they want to project as the right person, or as the role model that you should live your life by? Because, the newspapers and the media seem to simply and solely report bad news. Now, I'm not sure of the implications of this and the mental connotations of this and the wider spectrum of it, but I know they're probably doing it for a reason. I know there's something deeper and darker with regards to only reporting bad news than meets the eye. Let's have a look at it.
They purposely won't report good news or factual.
They're
not allowed. They're not even allowed to criticise the EU.
Well, yeah.
Or hold them to account.
Well,
where's the individual media in that? The media is meant to be independent on its own. No influence or biasness. Complete neutral.
Reporting both sides. Factual. Reporting on both sides of the story. But it's not been like that for decades, maybe even centuries. Yeah. Now, as you brought it up, I do think the EU is a good topic to talk about, and a good topic to start to try to wake people up. Because once you start to question the EU and start to dig into the truth and the facts and the figures of the EU, the figures they'll never chuffing publish because they'll never audit the EU. They'll never say, how much is going in? How much is going out? And where is it going? Why do you think they won't chuffing tell you that? Because it's lining the pockets of the wrong people.
Well, a good way of putting it is, for every pound of tax you pay, the EU keeps 57p.
So they get more.
If 35 million people are paying taxes in this country, and they pay an average of 1,400, that's at 57p.
Yep.
Out of all of their tax the whole year, 1,400 of it goes to the EU for their back pocket or whatever they do with it.
To clean the Spanish streets, to build Spanish railways.
Whatever it is, to create everyone else's infrastructure and stuff like that. But that's 39 billion. No, it's not. It's trillion. So 2 secs.
Yep. Yeah, because they're big numbers. They're hard to calculate. You've got to put a lot of zeros in. Yeah. It's...
So if we pay the average of, say, £2,500 worth of tax, it's 1,425 times that by 35 million.
Yeah, because that's the taxpayer
But
age.
it comes up as error. No, it doesn't.
The number's too big. Error. Well, there is an error in the frigging figures, isn't there?
£49.8 billion.
Yep, that's a lot of houses that could build. That's a lot of NHS that could pay for. That's a lot of things that we could, should, and need.
Armed forces,
everything, just thrown down the drain because there's no checks and balances. There's no way of them reporting back where that money is getting spent or what it's being spent on, who it's getting given to, or anything, because the EU refuses to be audited. It refuses to balance its books. It refuses. It refuses to do this. And
I've got a really bad echo. Sorry, mate.
Oh. Maybe not there. That's all right. That's right. Is it coming up on mine? Just let me get my screen back up. If you just talk again, mate.
Yeah, that's better. No, it's not.
No, it's not. No, it's echoing. Right. Gosh darn it. Right, try again. I've just reconnected it.
Okay, does it sound better?
No, it's going to echo again. I'm seeing it echo again. Work properly, you stupid thing. Sorry about this, people. Tech issues, as per usual.
Daily chaos.
Yeah. If only I could get a proper setup with a nice microphone and the little soundboards with a little, that waffle board, so it didn't reflect sound. Yeah. Let's move things off the table as well, so it's got a clear path to the mic. Move the ashtray, move my notes. Right. Anyways, let's give it another try. Maybe I'll come up.
So yeah, that's a lot.
No.
A lot of money to be handing over.
Yeah, it's still echoing, mate. I'm going to jump off the server and jump back on, see if that'll clear it.
Okay. Handing over to unaccountable people. And if it continues, it's only the people who don't speak up that will allow it to continue. There's so many of us speaking up, but we need to get united, people, and let these people know that no, we're not going to stand for this no more. We're standing up and we're taking back control. They do work for us.
The servants. They're chuffing servants, not
literally.
Dictats. Yeah.
They're treating us like slaves, and we should be treating them like slaves. They've reversed the roles, made the nation think that, or just made the nation dumb to what's going on.
They've made politics uncool.
It never was cool. It just used to be businessmen
Well,
putting their knowledge and their ethics of how they've built up their businesses over a period of time, dealing with lawyers, dealing with having to do certain legislation to keep this and that and paperwork and talking to boards and getting together and sorting things out.
yeah,
That's
negotiating.
what it used to be.
Negotiating.
And retired lawyers and stuff like that, and barristers. That's all it used to be. And they used to be offer their services and go, yeah, we can help out. Those were the ministers. They used to spend a couple of hours a week sorting stuff out, and the world just continued on. It wasn't hard. You didn't need all of these people in there near enough every day.
You didn't need all these panels, all these what they called like researchers, but they just sit there and debate pointless facts and get bookloads of money for it. Writing reports upon things and dodgy dossiers and crap like that.
Just a waste of space. Just a plain waste of space and waste of resources.
Yeah, a waste of money. Complete and utter waste of money. Because a lot of these reports are blooming obvious. All it takes is a day walking around the street talking to the normal people, and you'll find out the crux of the matter, and you'll find out what's wrong. You know, that's another way to help start opening people's eyes. Just ask them the question, you know, what do you think's going wrong with society at the minute? What problems do you see? Oh, and then they'll answer you, and then you'll be able to come back with some of the reasons why it's been happening like that. What's happening with it, where it's been coming from, and the people that have been pushing this narrative and pushing this problem upon us. Yeah, and especially with the EU, you know, simply ask people, well, which of the EU dictators did you vote for? Which of the presidents did you vote for? Isn't it normal? Isn't it right to vote for a president? Or the EU Council, or the EU, what's the other word beginning with C? EU.
You next Tuesday.
Oh, the EU. It's the EU. Commissioners. Yeah. The commission. Which one of them did you vote for? None of them. So you've got unelected, unaccountable people that are completely in charge of your law, completely in charge of rules and regulation, completely in charge of how we run our country. We didn't elect them. They're not accountable. How would you get rid of one of these people like Michel Barnier or Juncker? Get rid of
their donors.
Give them frigging 6 feet of rope, mate. No. Well, with the right due process, because
But the people that I have to speak with, so some of the people that I've spoken with, so one comment today was we was talking about Arsene Wenger leaving Arsenal. And I'm an Arsenal fan. And he's leaving Arsenal, and a joke was made because obviously they know that I'm heavily involved in denouncing politics. And there was like, who would you like to be manager? Tony Blair? I was like, nah, I don't like terrorists even walking the streets, let alone being in charge of anything. I was like, and let's face it, Tony Blair can't run a country, let alone a football club.
And
then someone made a passing comment of, no, I prefer Gordon Brown. I was like, why would I want someone who sells us out? He sold all of our gold off. I was like, what's he going to do? Sell all the best part of Arsenal? So I don't think so. And they were just like, have you got something against everyone? I was like, well, if they weren't all corrupt and all part of this big globalist game, then no, I wouldn't. I was like, but the people you're naming, you think are are good, genuine people, when in fact they're
war criminals.
Very much the opposite. They're terrorists.
Yeah,
actual terrorists. And I had to explain it to someone. I was like, that Tony Blair is an actual terrorist. And I was like, you can't call him a terrorist. I was like, but he killed people for a political ideology on the basis of lies. Okay? That tells me that if I done that, I would be a terrorist. No matter who you are, no one is above the law, right? A terrorist is a terrorist. It could be a domestic one. It could be international or foreign.
It could be a political leader that's a terrorist.
It could be anyone. It could be a banker. It could be a teacher. It could be anyone.
Anyone.
No one is immune to being this. Okay. So I had to explain what a terrorist is and why he is a terrorist.
Yeah.
And it took a little while, and then there was like, well, when you put it like that, he actually is.
When you put it like that, I understand.
Like, the only way you can put it is like that, because that's all he is.
And
you don't have to look at if he's got money or if he was a high esteemed person of society. No, I don't care who it is.
Or even if he was just a puppet, he still did the crime.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because if you let him get away with it, guess what? There's more people that can get away with it.
And they are doing.
Tim Fortescue. Yeah, and are doing. Like Tim Fortescue. And this scandal. Well, there's no public inquiry or investigation in regards to the scandal in Parliament.
No. There's hardly any there's hardly ever a public inquiry into Parliament. They had a little one about their expenses, and a few people got ratted out, but a lot of people got let off, and then it got brushed under the carpet quick as they could, and they're still doing it, and they're probably doing it even more. Yeah,
worse. It never gets better.
It only gets worse. And like you were saying, I think Tony Blair is a good eye-opener issue, because a lot of people still freaking hate his guts, and it doesn't matter.
And Gordon Brown is another good one for selling all of our gold.
Yeah, it doesn't matter which political alignment you could even you can still be a Labour voter and still hate Blair. So
hate the person. Don't hate the game. Hate the player. Yeah, or don't hate the player. Don't hate the game. But
hate them both.
Hate it all in this case.
But no, let's not go with hate. Let's go with a pause. Because hate.
Yeah.
If we keep getting stuck in the cycle of hate, then it might eventually bring.
Yeah, I understand.
It might, if we get stuck in this cycle of hate, it might actually even bring us down to their level, and we don't want that. We want to rise above it. We want to be the cream. We want to rise to the top.
True. And that's why I go. I don't hate them. I'm very disappointed, and
I feel betrayed by them. I feel betrayed by them.
Betrayed, yes. And I'm disgusted in their acts. Because you can be disgusted in people's acts.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. You shouldn't hate anything or anyone. You should just either oppose it or be disgusted in it. Because hate is all of that as one. And so much more. It breeds too much negativity. But if you can describe, like, I'm disgusted in the way that he treated that person, or I'm disgusted in the way that he went to war when everyone said no. That's completely fine, because, yeah, or he makes me feel sick, which he does.
Yeah,
it's quite very true.
It's like hate is such an easy word to use as well. You know, it's like
love.
It's like the
word love gets thrown around as well, doesn't it?
Oh, I hate that. Oh, I hate this. Oh, I hate them. I hate that. I hate this. And people don't ask, you know, once you say that, it's like people don't elaborate upon it or even ask the question why. Well, why do you hate them? Elaborate. Go on, give us some decent reasons to it. Whereas you say, I'm disgusting their actions.
And then it goes back
they did this, that, and the other.
They're racist. They're a bigot.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. You know, but if you say, that person disgusts me, every time I see him, I throw up a little bit in my mouth because he did this, that, and the other. Oh, well, he did do those things, and I do feel the same way. Maybe not as strongly as you, but yeah, he betrayed us, didn't he? Yes, he did. Right, we're on the same page. Right, we can now move on to maybe something a little bit deeper. Oh, well, did you know that Tony Blair was a Fabian? And this is what the Fabians stand for. And the Fabians have been running the Labour Party for a long time and still do. You see some, you know, little bits like that can lead on to more things, can lead them deeper down the rabbit hole, and can start to shed light upon these dark places. And if you tell them, you know, face to face, and you're telling them little bits of facts and where to find the facts, because there's some brilliant videos out there on YouTube that explain the Fabian Society, who they are, what they do, what they stand for. Socialists, communists, that you can even point them in the right direction, give them the right sort of thing to search for on YouTube. Or if you're feeling quite ballsy and you've got a bit of time to spare, get your phone out, put the YouTube search in, well, let's have a watch of this video together. Things like that can really start to wake people up. You know, you're not going to be able to do this to some random person in the pub, but you might be able to, you know, show them to the rabbit hole and say, there's the rabbit hole. Have a look. You can have a look down there in your own time, because maybe you spark that interest, you spark that bit of questioning in the person to make them want to go and question and think, well, this Fabian Society, he told me this, that, and the other about them. I'll have a look into that. I'll research that and see what I can find. Because we've said this a few times, that you can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make it drink. You can't force feed the red pill. People have to do their own research and have to look into it themselves, and have to want to look into it themselves to really grasp and to really awaken. And beyond a crisis, which is bubbling and is ready to pop and ready to come, people aren't pushed, sort of given the encouragement to search for these things and to look down the rabbit hole. The more encouraged to be ignorant, the more encouraged to be materialistic and to think only of themselves and to think of nice, simple things that are shown to them on the telly. Who's going to win X Factors and who's killing who on Coronation Street? You know, simple distractions. But the world society at the moment has gotten so bad that we're having to cling to these distractions. We're having to use these ways to escape and to escape reality. Because if we start opening our eyes to reality, it can be quite a hair-raising experience. Let's have a look at the comments. If you ever had.
I was just thinking what it was like for us waking up, and then they've only been in the sleep longer. It's like being in a coma. You're just more damage done day by day.
Yeah, Yeah, who is it? John
The
Kerry in
longer
the
these people
comments.
stay asleep, the worse the damage is to them, and the worse the outcome is.
The worse the nightmare is. Yeah, the worse the nightmare will get.
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine when
it's tough because you don't want to push someone too far.
Too quick.
At the same time, you don't want to leave them because you know what it's going to be like when their world comes crashing down, which is ultimately what we're trying to do. We're just trying to stop everyone's world just collapsing in on themselves and there being mass hysteria.
Well, what we want to do is we want to take it apart brick by brick, but try to replace it with a better brick as we do it. But that's going to take way too long, and I don't see us having that much time. But that is what we'd ultimately love to do. To say this is wrong.
It'd be so good if we had the time to mollycoddle into the state of awakening. But around the corner is civil war and a
financial collapse,
being a world war. So when I say we haven't really got time, it's because the manufacturing of what's going on is getting quicker by the day. The deep state are trying to work so hard against all the white hats, i.e., look, I'm not saying that Assad is the best person in the world because he clearly isn't, but he's never done wrong by his people. He's never used chemical weapons. It's all been fabricated and lies. And like I said, I'm not saying that he's the best person, but he's trying to do what he can for his people. And ultimately, we should all be doing what we can for our own people and then help whoever we can after.
Yeah, British people should come first to the British politicians.
Yeah, so yeah, using England or Britain as an example, we should be putting our nations first. And then we go, right, now we're in order. Our ship is shape, and our ship is in tip-top condition, ship shape. Now we can set sail and go and help others, and if they need some help, we can offer a hand. And it doesn't have to be money, because money doesn't buy you skills. Learning. Send people over there, like skilled labour, and to help these people. It's not take every single person we can from every single nation and leave the world bled dry. It's I don't know. Even to me, like the mass immigration to any nation from any nation is silly.
It's detrimental to both sides.
What is the other nation going to do? There's going to be no one there. It's just going to be barren land. It's going to be, and then there's going to be other nations that are. There's just too many people there. After 10 years or 20 years, well, you've got 5, 6 times the amount of people in that nation. Of course, things are going to get tough.
Oh, most definitely. It's. I don't want to say it's obvious, because there's so many people that don't see it, and I don't want to insult them, but
albeit it is though. Albeit it is obvious.
It is obvious.
Because you have to think of it logically, and if you don't, you're not going to get nowhere. You can't try and use smarts you don't have to work out what's going on.
Yeah, and it's been drilled into us and drilled into us and drilled into us to feel guilty about saying this, about saying, no, we don't want other people in our country.
I don't feel saying I want to save another nation as well as my own.
As a nation,
in a logical way.
I know this is what we think and what we believe, but what I'm saying is the government media narrative has been pushing people to feel guilty for not wanting immigrants to come here, calling them, well, you're racist for that, or what was it? Oh, what was the other point as well? Pushing us to feel like the immigrants are the victims. So we've got to be nice to them. Oh, they've come from a shit country here to come and live here. Oh, so we've got to like bend over backwards for them to make them feel better.
It's not just here. You've got America as well. You've got the rest of Europe.
Yeah,
it's all the same.
Yeah,
but my problem is when people say, "Oh, you're racist. You don't want immigrants." I'm like, I'm well up for immigrants, but guess what? Let's not take everyone from another nation and bring them here and leave that nation completely empty.
Well,
because it does not make sense. It's not using our planet efficiently.
No, it's not. You're right on that one. You're right.
That's the big problem. If we're going to use the Earth efficiently, then we need the spreading of people. Yes, other people will have to move to other nations just to make it a little bit more even, a little bit more easier for people.
And to be honest with you,
instead of having 2 billion people in China and only 500 million people in Africa, well, few of them should be going over to Africa.
To make Africa better.
You know what I mean?
To make Africa better, not make it worse.
Yeah, to make it better, because you've got things that, like Chinese people say they're very good with technology, whereas the Africans are very good with agriculture and looking after land and the people and stuff like that. They could build a very good society in regards to that. And there could be a lot of skilled labour crossing over and people learning and all of this. I'm only using that as an example. I'm not saying that should happen. But I'm just saying that as an example. We should be using this earth more efficiently than what we are.
Well, I was going to make a point. I was going to make a point that even merit-based immigration is a bad thing because we're only taking the skilled people from other countries.
Yeah, but then you introduce a bill in that where you say if you take 5 people from country X, then 5 people from your country have to go over to that country in skilled labour wise. So there was no differential rate of it all. Like, so if it's a business,
one in, one out policy. It's a sort of I think
to even the kill over the whole line. So there's no arguments. There's no there's more people here. There's more people there. Well, your birth rate and the skilled labour is an equal kill. There is no difference between any of you. It's 5 skilled labour for 5 skilled labour. It's like swapping 5 £1 coins for a £5 note or €5 or $5, something like that. Do you know what I mean? It's just an exchanging of skilled labour instead of draining resources from one country, leaving said country without anything, the ability to do anything, and collapsing as a civilization. It's a very, very bad route to go down. It creates chaos.
And from this chaos comes order. If you understand that dig there. Because it is, and it's all been done by design. This has all been done by design by the deep state shadow governments. All of this mass immigration has been put in place for a reason. And yeah, it's got to stop. It can't carry on the way it's going. It can't. So there is a better way. That one in, one out sort of situation, I'd say, was a good way to address the point. But
it's just an example.
Yeah, this is an example.
It's that sort of method that would help both nations.
Yes, we do there.
Immigration, but we just can't kill nations by doing so.
And like we say, that's there. That's a point. and it's up for debate. So let's debate like we would normally, and let's have it debated properly, and have a look at the facts and have some research done upon the thing, and see whether it would work or not, and see if that is the best practice, and then put it into place, because that's how we can work as a society, not being dictated to by the EU and having to listen to their rules, but what benefits them rather than us.
So my kind of thinking is, so like if you've got a company, say Ford, right? Ford have got a factory in China, a factory in England, right? 5 people from China, 5 skilled labour, 5 skilled engineers in whatever field it is in that whatever they're doing, come over to England, right? Because we want those 5, right? And they're left with trainees over there, and one experienced person in that field. It would be more beneficial to send over 2 of our qualified and say 3 that are nearly qualified to go over there, and as part of the qualification, they can gain extra qualification by doing it, helping out internationally within that engineering field. So it becomes more recognised instead of being a national, qualification, being international recognised qualification, so to speak. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. But
so then
that's a good point.
You're also getting skilled labour, but you're also giving back skilled labour as well as the possibility for the extra more skilled labour, because then people could go on and teach other people as well. There's various ways it can work, and I honestly sit back sometimes and I think to myself, I'm like,
why am I the only person thinking of this?
Yeah.
Why am I the only person thinking of these solutions to the problem? Why? Yeah. I've felt like that a lot as well. Yeah.
And they're so simple. Like the simplest things you could think of, like immigration, swap it. Because I know that someone who's learning in a trade of engineering, right, especially if they're single, right, have the opportunity to go abroad, continue their learning, earn their money, and earn an extra qualification as well as getting paid extra money, they're going to go, okay then. Because there's no real difference to them doing it here than over there. Yes, they're working in a different country, but they also get a different lifestyle, a bit of difference.
Travel
so doesn't become really mundane, where they're just going home to the same thing they've always done.
And travel broadens the mind. Travel broadens the mind. The more people travel, the more experience you get, the more knowledge you get of other cultures and other ways to do things. Yeah. But let's get back to, because that's the immigration points, and I think that is a good topic. Well, it's a hot topic. Definitely a hot topic at the moment.
Even to wake people up.
Yeah.
Even to wake people up. If you explain that to someone, right, they're going to go, well, that's quite logical. What other logical things is he thinking?
Yeah.
And they're going to want to ask questions. Oh, but what happens if this? Or what about, say, I don't know, coming away from the EU? What about our industries? We haven't got any car making or anything over it. Well, we build them.
Yeah.
And we make companies build them by saying, oh, we're going to impose a 110% tax on your products imported.
We'll go to the company graveyard. We'll go to the company graveyard and dig up Rover again. Why not?
The Lotus plant, right?
Lotus is
still
the
Lotus, as in like the car manufacturer Lotus. Right, we've got one of their old,
production facilities, yeah.
Production factories, in my town. Right, it's still under Lotus. It's never been brought out since they left. It's still remained the same. Guess what? They can move in tomorrow.
But
there's a lot of engineers out there, and look at Noble. Noble practically make their cars, which are hypercars,
yep,
out of a shed in their garden.
Or on a light industrial estate. Just a little unit on a light industrial estate. You know?
That's what I'm on about.
Yeah.
You know? They're not on some massive complex that these other car manufacturers are on.
Yeah, the bespoke built, not production line built. You can't, the Noble is not built for the masses. It's built for the bespoke. And we've literally thrown away our production line car making facilities.
Given the opportunity, if Noble were able to, I bet they would make a normal everyday car, but they don't have the facilities because the facilities are too much. Yep. It costs too much for all of the health and safety, all of the
staffing, all
the machinery, everything.
It'd be a massive investment. And what they're going to make make a four-door runner end, a Noble four-door runner end for the common market. Or could they actually invent a like Fiat have done? Fiat have Ferrari. Could Noble do it in reverse and make a family everyday sort of brand? They could do, because they've got the engineering technology there. They know how to make a chuffing good car. They could. I think in some past they used a Yamaha motorcycle engines, just two Yamaha motorcycle engines stuck together. We take one of them away, you put that in a normal family little car, boom, still go pretty quick. Yeah, and this is what we need to be looking at as a country. Our government should be looking at things like this, but they're obviously not doing. Which is infuriating.
Or you could be looking at the £200 billion business in free energy.
No,
that's 200 billion net profit each year.
Yeah, or talking about motor cars. There's so many different developments to engines that are much more fuel efficient.
HHR engines.
Yep. Even
HHR engines are, one, ridiculously efficient. Two, economical, and completely environmentally friendly because it's an engine run off of water.
Yep. Hydrogen on demand. Bish bash bosh. Yeah. I've seen frigging hillbillies do it on the trucks in America. Just making a little glass jar with something inside it to do stuff, and it goes into the engine. This is a hillbilly in America doing it. I'm pretty sure that a British-funded engineering firm could produce something a darn sight better.
Bring our carbon emissions down.
That it would.
Revolutionary. Revolutionary.
Yep. Market changing. That's what it would be. Market changing. We would be the market leader in it, because that's one of the great things about the British, human psyche. We love the original. If somebody comes out with something original, we will always gravitate towards the original. If something's changing and something's life-changing and something's brilliant and it's the original, we'll go, ooh, the original. Oh, they've got this new one and this other one and this other firm and this other firm and this German one. But they're the original. I like them. It's something I've always felt. I've always felt like I like the original sort of thing. And I see it happening with other people as well. And something else about the British psyche especially. We used to love buying British. We used to take pride in our work. We used to, back when it were like British Leyland, you know, they weren't the best cars, they weren't the best manufactured, but we'd still buy them because they were British and we were giving the British people jobs. And it was pride in our nation and pride in our engineering work and pride in our country. And we've not lost it. They've tried to smash it out of us. They've tried to culturally get rid of it. But we'll never let it go. Never, ever, ever.
They've just dragged us into corporations. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Other corporations.
Multinational corporations, international corporations, conglomerates. The corporatism that has taken over our country and taken over the world, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, yeah, so maybe the collapse of British industry would be a good subject to start to help to wake people up, because
there's many things we can do.
Yeah, you can see it with your eyes.
Wake people up.
And the working man in the pub that you might just bump into or might just start talking to, they'll understand it. They'll know it. They'll have seen it, and they'll want to do something about it.
If you gave a manager and a group and these mechanics, say at a Vauxhall garage, your local Vauxhall garage, gave them the opportunity to run their own garage, right? What's he going to say? Do you want to carry on working for this company, or do you want to own your own garage?
I know what I'd choose. Definitely.
You'd open your own garage.
Yeah. And then, if we were smart about it, we'd start manufacturing the parts as well. So we didn't have to ship the parts in from a Chinese factory to make the car, to put the car together in this country. We actually start manufacturing the engine block. We actually start manufacturing the wheels, the tyres, the body panels. We manufacture it all.
When you say that, again, up at my near my estate, one of my local industrial estates, there's Cosworth Technology engine. There's also Cummins diesels. We in my town we have quite a good mixture of manufacturing. In all honesty, but it's because we're central. We're smack bang in the middle of the country.
So you've got a good distribution point.
Yeah, we've got quick links to the M1, M6, A45, A14, which is on M11. We've got links everywhere. So it's very easy for us. And that's the only reason why we're picked as a county, I would say. But again, not a lot of companies survive in our thingy.
Well, that's by design, isn't it? By the banks, because they want to have lots of companies trying to start up and lots of companies failing in the first year. It's part of their business plan. Yeah. But, yeah, cottage industries, actual industry, and bringing it back to life is a great waking up point. It's a great, topic to talk about in the pub, and it's a great way to...
Could you imagine having our steel industry back?
Oh, I imagine it as much as I possibly can. Because if you imagine it, and I hope for it, hopefully, it'll come back. Because it's going to be one of the major things on the Brave New World list. Is industry. Because we're an industrious nation. We're a nation of engineers. We see problems, we build things, we make them. We sort things out. We solve our problems with our engineering techniques. It's what we've always done.
Yes, we have been the leaders of engineering. Although they say Germany, it's really us.
Well,
our designs.
I think the Germans do trump us in work ethic and efficiency.
No, don't dispute that.
But in technical skills and actual engineering feats, I think we are the world leader. Well, we were.
Mm-hmm.
We were.
Mm-hmm.
Until we got sold down the river.
Not anymore.
Well, you look, yeah.
But then you look at America. If America weren't suppressed for so long, look how advanced they could be.
Well, now you've got Lockheed Martin, you've got Boeing, you've got some of these massive production companies that are making some of the tip-top super jets, making tip-top aerospace.
90 degrees vertical takeoff.
Yeah.
Boeing made a plane that is a vertical takeoff.
Well, we did that. The Harrier stuff. We beat the Americans to that one. But we've scrapped that. We've scrapped the Harrier. We've scrapped one of our
great. It was pointless. There was no use of it.
No, we could have upgraded it. We could have had Harrier too. And the Harrier was a brilliant naval vessel, naval plane. But
there is no need for a passenger plane to take off vertical.
Oh yeah, there's not. Yeah, what are you going to do? put big straps upon, like those racing straps that you put on in race cars. Put them. Everybody fasten your seatbelts. Big frigging harness comes down like a frigging.
I was just about to say they're not seatbelts. They're harnesses.
Yeah,
you may as well get the bar as well that comes down like a roller coaster.
Yeah, so I was just doing actions then, like a roller coaster.
I just want to go. I just want to go to another country. I don't need to take off vertically and then go straight. It would perfectly fine. Go at a nice steady altitude. Right?
How's about getting there twice as fast on a fucking Concorde?
No, don't need to. Perfectly fine. They go perfectly decent enough speed at 500 mile an hour with no traffic. See that as no problem, right? They ain't got to stop at traffic lights. They just go. So all they have to do is just go. Don't have to do flips.
No.
And do a gymnastics landing at the other side.
They could do it more.
All three wheels touch the floor, and it's a nice, comfortable landing, and the plane ain't split in half or on fire or anything like that. I'm all good. It's like me, getting in a normal car. I honestly don't know why we've got cars that go over 100 miles an hour. We can't do that speed.
Yeah, you can.
It's actually ridiculous with the amount of cars we have on our roads to do that speed.
The autobahn
is actually, at most points, it's ridiculous to do 100 miles an hour. I don't see if there's a speed limit, 70 miles an hour.
But fact is
the
fact.
very fastest car, which should be a civil servant's car, should go 90 miles an hour, right? Or 95. And yeah.
But fact is fact, and proof is proof. There's less accidents on the autobahn than there is on British roads, and they don't have a speed limit on certain sections of the autobahn.
But that's just one road of all the roads.
Well, compare it to the M1. Compare the autobahn to the M1. One road, different countries.
More cars are driven on the M1 per year than there is on the autobahn.
If you do a direct comparison, I'm pretty sure that it is safer. It is safer to not have a speed limit. But is that because it's Germans driving and the Germans are better trained, better taught than us?
Mentality.
Better mentality.
I'm not on about the speed limit. I'm on about the cars going. If we've got a speed limit, why have we got cars that are going 200 miles an hour if we've got a speed limit?
Because it's just fun.
Argument.
Because it's fun. And it's engineering taken to its limit.
Yep.
It's something in the human psyche. It's something in the human psyche that wants to push things to a bit further. You know, that's why there's...
But what I'm saying, for public highways, right, where you shouldn't be having fun, right, in regards to driving, that's what trucks are there for, right? Why have we got cars that are allowed on the road? It's everyday use, not for fun, for travelling from A to B. Why have we got cars that can go over 100 miles an hour when that isn't the speed limit?
It's a good point, but very hard one to sell. You know, there's a lot of bravado with cars, isn't there? Ooh, I've got a car that can do 120 miles an hour. Ooh, I've got a car that can do 150 miles an hour. Well, my car's limited to 155 miles an hour. You know, that's a lot of, you know, manliness, bravado. But
it's all right if you're not going to use that on the public highways.
Well,
where
if you're purposely
driving in the same erratic way that others may be.
Well, if you're on a motorway and there's nobody, it's 4 o'clock in the morning, there's nobody else around, nobody else in the car, just you yourself. Why can't you go 150 mile an hour?
Well, for your own safety, because the roads are crap, I'd say it was be a bit silly to go 150 mile an hour.
Well, it's your own choice. Yeah. But if it, you know, if it's midday and there's a little, you know, there's a 200, 300 meter gap in front of you, and there's people behind you, and there's cars all here, there, and everywhere, and you're doing 150 mile an hour. No. That's other people's lives that you're taking into your hands.
Yeah, that's the point I'm at.
Yeah. I understand that, but it's part of culture now. It's been brought in to have cars that do 150 mile an hour.
I actually think
it'll be a very hard pill to swallow. You know, it makes logical sense. Won't get you wrong on that. It makes logical sense. However,
you've either got to do
convincing these people,
or the other.
Convincing these people,
scrap speed limits, right? Or scrap cars that go over the speed limit.
Well,
it's one or the other.
Or make a better sort of road where you actually do have a proper slow lane for people, where you have to go at 70 miles per hour. That is that in speed limit. You have to go at that speed, no matter what. If you're turning off or you're going around the corner, you can slow down a bit. And then the other two lanes, you can go as fast as you like.
So all of these people that love all of these fast cars, right, are gonna go, oh, I'd love a fully autonomous car. That'd be well cool. Do they think this fully autonomous car is going to go over said speed limits?
No. A computer car won't break the laws. It is given direct laws and directives. It won't break those directives. Right. It's been programmed.
Set in stone as well. They are literally set in stone. They can't. Well, they can be played about with. But
you can hack it. Hackers can hack your car and leave the accelerator on, can't they? That's a good idea. But
so they're gonna go, oh yeah, let's get a fully autonomous car, right? All of these boy racers and whatnot, they're gonna get all of these fully autonomous cars, right? And then they're gonna go, oh, I want my old car back. Guess what? Not allowed them anymore. You forfeited your car. Because you're an idiot.
Yeah. Well, I see them going to do that. I can see this logical progression
on the road.
I can see this logical progression of them taking away the diesel engine. completely and utterly just.
Yeah.
Oh, diesel engines are really
That's what they're
bad.
trying to do by putting all these taxes and raising all the money and whatnot on diesel engines and stuff like that. Now.
Oh, the worst thing is they encouraged people to get diesels.
Oh yeah,
saying, get a diesel. Everybody get a diesel. Right now, let's pump up the price of diesel and let's tax them to heck. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I'm just trying to read some of the comments here as well. Trying to get the viewers involved with the show. What was her name? Lauren. I think it was Lauren. She made a really good comment about America and how Britain's still got its tentacles in America. The British
still
elite
control America.
Yeah. But that's another topic for another day. I think this is more about the Friday show, about topics we can talk about to other people that can really start to lead them on the right path. And we got into the British car industry and how that's been destroyed purposely.
This is something like I talk about these things, right? Just normal everyday things that we could improve in life, like and I pose certain questions to people to get them to think in that. And people said to me, like, Glenn, you should really be going somewhere with all of this. I'm like, I am.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get people to unite. So when I do, I know I've got the support there.
That's it.
And there was like, well, Glenn, for sure. Like, if that's the case, and I was like, I'm not going to lie to anyone, right? My game, my agenda, or however you want to do it, what I want to do is get into a position where I can make change.
Same here.
So, say if I was to be in the House of Commons, right, which anyone who knows me, right, I would be the thorn in everybody's side in that Parliament, no matter who it is.
No, I think we'd all. I think
be able to get away from me. They would be trying their damnedest to get me out any way they can. But if I've got the support of the people and I'm working for the people,
Glenn,
doing what the people want, guess what?
You won't be a thorn in my side because I'll be still in that Parliament with you.
I'd be a thorn in Parliament side.
We'd be that.
I the first day walking in there, their asses would be falling out.
Yeah.
Literally.
Full disclosure, please. Come on. Let's hear your secrets.
And do you know what? And do you know who I thought? One person who I know that would definitely stand up and probably back me would be Mary Black.
Never heard that name before.
She's Scottish MP.
Ah.
But she's blunt to the nail.
Oh, is that that? I don't want to say.
Scottish lady.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a face to the name now.
Yeah. She's brilliant. When I see her now, I'm like, do you know what? We need all of them people in there, right? And she could be paid for. But I like the way she speaks. I'm not going to lie.
Gritty.
I haven't looked into her because I can't vote for her or anything like that. And she's in effect and nothing to do with us, and she has no real effect in politics.
Well, that's the thing. One voice in the House of Commons isn't enough. We need We need 4, 5, 6, 10, Scottish, 50, 20.
She's Scottish, so I would say that she's probably not brought out, and that she's very thorough to what she says. And I've seen her in a lot of speeches, not in Parliament as well. Like she's made speeches in like conferences in halls, in all sorts of places. And I've looked into her some. So I've looked into her a bit. Just not in depth and like into her personals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if I got it and I stood up and I spoke, she'd probably sit there and go, here, stand up and just go, this is what I've been waiting for.
No, she'd probably do that. She'd probably do that thing where she says, like, can I speak next? Can I speak next? and then she'll say, "And you carry on." Because they can do that. They can do that in the House of Commons. I've seen them do it.
Yes.
Where somebody's making a really heartfelt, really powerful, passionate speech. And oh, your time's up now. You can't speak anymore. Oh, well, I'd like to speak next. Carry on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She probably would. I'd end up walking and go, Berko, your time's up, mate.
Boom, boots him out the door.
Your time's up.
Boot the midget out the door.
I'm like, you're going to the police station, a lot of you. You're all being investigated.
Yep.
So quick smarts, off you go. They're all waiting for you. Spoken to them already. Got the backing. I've also got the military as well. So don't try anything because they're waiting for you as well. So see you later. It's exactly what I would do. And I would go and speak to the military and I'll be like, listen, you've got to have my back on this because this is what I'm going to do. All right? You've got to wait here, or we've got to think of a plan that's going to be the safest and
smoothest,
respectful.
The smoothest transition.
I won't be dishonourable in anything that I do. I would be honourable because I'm in that place. I've got to honour my position because people put their trust in me. So, and I would be like, we've got to do this properly. How are we going to do it?
Yep, that's what we're planning. That's what we're hoping for. That's what we want to see in our future. But we've got to get the people awake. We've got to have the support behind us. We've got to. It's not just about getting the support behind us. It's also about negating the opposition by making people see the truth. Means they're not going to be like, "Oh, stop ruining everything! Stop ruining everything!" Like, you know what I'm saying?
I think waking up to words is a good one as well because I use words a lot. When I'm at work or I'm out in places, my words are true and I say what I actually mean. Right? So I use like the true words. So I don't know. So I explained anarchy, an anarchist today, right? So the simple definition of anarchist is
not to be ruled.
Free person, self-governance, no government. Just literally no government.
Not
just
to be ruled.
Self-governing.
Not to be ruled by anyone.
Not to be ruled by. I was like, but people see anarchy as someone who would go out with their pitchfork and start stabbing people and start causing mayhem. So that's not what it is. And there was like, and then I explained racism and prejudice, and the whole mixed up. And I explained these simple things because when I use words, I want them to know what I'm saying and what I mean.
Well, have you debunked?
I don't want them to get confused with what they're told.
Have you debunked the left and right narrative?
Hijack.
Have you debunked the left and right narrative?
And that's what I'm doing it. And they're understanding it, and they're like, and I was like, but the reason they're saying this leftist and this right is to create this divide. I was like, but if you look at who the left are, they are just a political movement.
Well, on the spectrum of things, far left is tyranny, and far right is anarchy.
Yeah.
And they seem to think that Hitler's far right. How the...
No, he was so far left, he was left behind.
He was so far left. Yeah, he was so far left. He was fucking
He was not left behind. He won.
Yeah. Oh, wait, we're going on to a show on that next week. We're doing a show on that next week. So, yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good segue to that.
Yeah.
People keep it in mind.
Yeah, keep it in mind. Wait. Let's keep an eye on the time. 1.5 hours. We can carry on for a little bit longer. People. Because Carl, in the comments, made another comment. Made a comment on another great topic we can talk about to help wake people up, which is tax. Tax on tax.
He's done that today.
And more
I
tax.
do that all the time as well.
Oh,
That's a great one to do it on.
yeah.
So good.
So, because it's so
simply
broad.
Taxation is theft.
Yep. Yep.
And then explain why it's theft.
Yep.
And explain that taxes don't get spent on the police force.
Yep.
Because people were talking about their pension. And I was like,
you're not going to get one.
National insurance.
You're not going to get one. There's no such thing as a pension for us.
They were saying about their pension and stuff like that. I was like, that they're paying into it with their money now. I was like, but why do you pay national insurance? And they was like, what? I was like, why do you pay national insurance? And they was like, don't know. I was like, be a good idea to find out, wouldn't it? Why you're paying like 20% of your hard-earned money on whatever it's going on, and then the other money being what you call it, your income tax, what that's being spent on. I was like, and I was like, isn't our money? And it clicked in with someone that our what do you call it? Our national insurance was a contribution for our
NHS
pension.
Oh, pension,
and NHS and all these other little things. And I was like, so why do we? I was like, exactly.
Well,
I didn't let them even finish their sentence. I knew what they was going to say, and I was like, exactly.
Well, I was going to say that,
and then I was explaining to them, like, don't they spend money on like your income tax on police? But isn't that what your council tax is also for? So are you paying for the police twice?
Well, I was going to say that there's more people in the country paying more taxes, and yet our services are still getting worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
Can you not smell there's something wrong here? The maths doesn't work out.
I was like, how much more tax do you pay this year than you did last year? And I was like, well, a bit more, yeah. I was like, has the services got any better, or do you get a doctor's appointment any quicker? And I was like, no. I was like, see that the problem, the problem that's arising. I was like, whether it just be from mass immigration, or whether it be from the money not actually being spent on what it's being meant to be spent on.
Yep.
Right?
Or the massive corporations not paying any tax.
Credit. I asked them, like, why do you get working tax credit? And I was like, because I am under what they call the average living wage. I was like, because you're paying too much tax, and they can't spend it. They can't spend all that they get, but they tell money services are getting worse. But if they're spending more money, where's that money going?
Not working tax.
I see. If anything, it should be going on training and things like that.
I see there's two other sides to working tax credit. Well, it's there because our economy is so shit now. Sorry about swearing. So it's so bad now. The government has to subsidise it. Has to subsidise you.
But subsidise it with our tax money.
Yeah, with our tax money, with the fake or more fake money, the quantity of ease, and it's to make people more dependent upon the state.
Yes, but I'm trying not to. When I go into things, I don't. Try and make it always nefarious, right? In regards to the ultimate control and all of this and stuff like that, because we're talking about the easing of talking people into the world, right?
Yep. Great point.
And that automatically puts a red marker when you say, for ultimate control or for this and for that. And they're like, okay, he's just going to go off on the New World Order and I don't want to hear about that, stuff like that. Yeah. So when I explain it, it's very very simple, because these people have a very short, what is it?
Attention span.
Yes, attention span. So you have to explain things really slowly, really simply, but not quite that. But yeah, it's...
Yeah, you can't go joining the dots. You can't go joining all the dots together in front of them. because they're not at that level yet.
Their brains can't take it. You have to start with the simple and let it work up and let it go forward. And
well, remember that I told you about that last week? Well, that links to this as well. You know, once you've started to open the doors to them, then, yeah, you can see that not logical progression with it. And good for picking me up on that, because that's something that we've not mentioned, and that's going too far when we're trying to wake people up.
It's very easy for someone like you and I or others to go too far. A bit
like a monkey with a machine gun. You give a monkey with a machine, I'll have all this information. Oh. And it scares people, and it puts them off, and it alienates them, and it's not the right way to do it.
And a lot of people just don't know what to do with the information.
Yeah.
And like for me, I've said to them, I'm like, well, know the truth, know who's lying to you and who's not.
It's a good start.
Form your own opinions.
Yep.
I was like, it's not just about you believe in me, you believe in them. It's about you finding your own truth and your own beliefs. So I don't let anyone dictate to you. Like people say to me, oh, you're telling me to do this, you're telling me to do that. I was like, I'm not telling you anything. I'm just letting you know things. Like I explained with aspartame in sugar-free drinks and all sugar-free drinks have aspartame in it.
Oh, it tastes disgusting. I can't stand the taste of it.
I said it's a carcinogenic. And I said it's bad for you. And I was like, why? I was like, it's carcinogenic, which it aggravates or causes cancer. And then they instantly assumed I said that they can't drink it and they shouldn't. Like, no, it's not what I said. Another explanation is when I said about parents giving their children McDonald's. I said, I think it's bad to give a child McDonald's, right? And they instantly thought that
telling them not to go to McDonald's.
I said that they're bad parents for giving them McDonald's. I was like, that's not what I said. Yes, you did. No, I didn't.
No, I said that. Yeah.
I just think it's bad for parents to give them McDonald's. Doesn't mean that they're bad parents. It's just making a bad decision.
Yeah.
And guess what? As human beings, we all make bad decisions.
Yep.
But if you continue to repeat this after you know... So everyone knows if you leave a burger out for 2 weeks, it's not going to go mouldy, right?
It is.
To me, that says that's a problem, because anything natural would be eaten by then.
Oh, Mackie D's burger. Yeah.
So why would you give your child these foods when you know they're clearly not good for them, right? If you know something's not good for someone, like you know it's not good to give a child a hit of smack, right? So you're not going to do it.
Yep.
Right? So why would you give your child aspartame in Ribena?
Ribena doesn't have aspartame in it. Vimto does.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Ribena does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. I read it on there yesterday because I didn't think it did. And then I read the packaging and it does.
Sugar-free Ribena?
Because I started drinking one.
Was it a sugar-free Ribena? Or was it actual Ribena?
It was a strawberry Ribena.
Oh, the strawberry one. Because I've got a bottle of the actual Ribena, and it is the only cordial that I drink. And I made sure that
no, I'm on about the bottled drinks. I'm not on about a cordial.
Yeah.
Do you know when you go to a shop and you buy a bottle of Ribena ready to drink, not a bottle of cordial that you have to dilute? What about the normal ones? Just
No,
a normal
being a
bottle that you
semi-free
can go and
stuff.
drink, or a normal carton you can just go and drink.
Yeah.
It has aspartame in it.
Well, I went to. I've told you this. I went to Subway's, and I didn't want the pop. I didn't want the fizzy pop there. I got the water, and the water contains fluoride from Subway. Yeah. I looked it up.
Did you give him it back?
No, I took a mouthful and I went, go on, I'll check the ingredients. Boom, fluoride. I went, oh, no, not having that. Not having that. Put it down. Just carried on eating the shitty sandwich. So I had to get a quick meal on my friggin' adventures. And I thought, well, I don't want Mac crap. I don't want crappy Gregs, and I don't want crappy crap, and I don't want any other crap. Fucking hell. Go on, Subways. It's not as bad. Well, probably is bad. It's probably even worse, to be honest with you. But they're all. Yeah.
It's a lot higher in salt.
Well.
But yeah, and I just explained give it with Ribena and Coke and Diet Coke and stuff like that. It's all not normal Coke, but then having that amount of sugar isn't also only good for you. But I said, I'm not telling you not to have these. I'm just giving you a conscious decision.
Yeah.
Make a conscious decision. I was like, maybe don't drink as much.
Have it as an occasional treat.
3 cans of Diet Coke a day. Well, that's a lot of carcinogenic you're putting in your body, as well as all the other carcinogenic food and all the other crap food.
Yeah.
I was saying to people, I was like, if I was in charge, if I was a minister, I was like, do you know how much increase I would put on all of these bad drinks and that? I was like, you'd have no choice but to be healthy. I was like, because for many reasons. 1, it's good for yourself, right? 2, it's good for the environment. 3, it's good for the services. I was like, because you haven't got a mass amount of people who are diabetic, a mass amount of people who have got bowel disease, a mass amount of people who have got heart disease, mass amount of people who are overweight. All of these things, right?
Yep. It's one of the biggest strains on the NHS.
Contribution factor for things that don't need to be done. Now, I'm not saying you can't have a sugary drink or anything like that. Let's change the way food's being manufactured.
Well, that's it. You know, if we started to, because all Coca-Colas and all a lot of their products, all they are is sugar, water, and flavouring, and these crappy chemical flavourings.
Yeah.
Preservatives and shit like that, and aspartame sweeteners. And actually, they cost Coca-Cola to make 0.1 pence or something ridiculously cheap like that. And then they're charging you £1 for a can. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. So if a decent company could come in and make a decent version of a drink, which is nice and tasty and actually quite healthy, it might be a better, well, it will be a better option. It will be more healthy for everybody to actually get that part of the culture into their life. Instead of, and you know, this person that's been drinking 3 cans of Diet Coke every day, because aspartame is also addictive, they're going to have withdrawal symptoms when they do stop drinking the Diet Coke. They're going to start craving Diet Coke. They're going to be sat there twitching like, oh, I need a Diet Coke.
They'll be literally cold turkey. They'll want to go and hide in a corner where there's nothing because they can't touch it.
Yeah.
And I said it's the same for cakes and sweets and all of these things.
But it's
like they're designed that way, literally designed that way. You couldn't even put it in a more simpler way. They're designed to be addictive. They're not designed to be tasty, not designed to be pretty. They're designed to be addictive. So you continually buy them.
Why do you think there's such thing as a term called a sweet tooth?
It's an addiction.
You're addicted to sugar. And to some extent, meat is a bit of an addiction as well. But we'll get onto a diet. We'll do a dietary episode. We'll do a full episode on dietary. But let's jump back to the point, back to the facts, and back to the topic just before we close up the show. Round circle. Come on, round in a circle. We've got to go round in a circle. We've got our little tangents and we've got to do it there and everywhere like we always do. But let's bring it back to finish up the show because we're at an hour and 45 and we need to get off before 2. All right. And yes, good. Carl, beer is all right. It's not perfect, but it's all right. Yeah. So, another a final topic that we can, help talk to people and help start their awakening adventure, which, is a lot of it seems as a very negative sort of pathway to walk down. It seems like a very, oh, this is bad. Oh, that is bad. Oh, we've been betrayed. Oh, sad bollocks. Damn it. Angry. But there's, I'm trying to think of positive awakening things.
So what I say is, so if someone says, "Oh, what can I do?" It's like, get informed, get in these places,
talk to others as well.
You be that change. Don't want the change, be the change. You can be that change. Everyone's got it in them.
What can anyone do? What can anyone do to stop it? Well, I'm anyone, and you're anyone. Everyone's anyone. And if all the anyone's got together, guess what?
We're everyone.
We're everyone. And everyone make the change. That's what we're looking for. Yeah.
Even
if you're not so super politically minded or you're not really that into it, go to one of these marches, go to one of these events, have a little look around, have a little talk to other people, and see where they come from. Have a little chat to people, open up to them, and they'll open up to you. And you'll find that a lot of people think the way that you think, feel the way that you feel, and you'll make new friends. It's a great way of, getting out there, making friends, and getting informed and informing others. Even if you take a friend with you. Oh, let's go to Manchester, or let's go into town for the day. Let's go into London for the day on one of the days, and then let's go to this event. So let's go see what's happening over here. I know it's a bit sort of a sneaky way to do it, but it's going to help. It's going to help if you see 1,000 people stood there making a point. It's going to have a lot more impact than you making the point alone. You see what I'm saying? And I think that's a great notion to end the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great show. Great times. Let us know what you think. Share, comment, like, all the goodness. And have a lovely evening and a great weekend, y'all. Speak to you all on Monday.
Take it easy, people. Have a great weekend.
Right, it's over. Done. Yep. Got a Friday feeling on that one. It was a good one. This was a good one.